آدم إدريس نوح صالح إبراهيم لوط إسماعيل إسحاق يعقوب يوسف أيوب شعيب موسى هارون ذو الكفل داود سليمان إلياس اليسع يونس زكريا يحيى عيسى والآخر الختم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على إمام المتقين وقائد المجاهدين محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today in Khawater AlNoor, inshallah, we are completing the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim, or the second halaqah, or the second episode, or the second section. Remember last time I divided the story of Abraham to 5 sections. The first section is his da'wah with his dad, when he preached with his dad. The second, preaching with his people, with his own people, the people of Babylon. The third is preaching with the kings and the leadership in the community and the society in the country. And the fourth section is when he preached with outsiders, like the people of Haran. We'll talk about that. And the fifth, inshallah, and the last section, or the last halaqah, is going to be about his da'wah with his own son Ishmael, or his story with his own son and building Kaaba and all that, what he did in Mecca. Sayyidina Ibrahim, as I mentioned last time in the halaqah, he's Abu al-Anbiya, the father of all prophets. All the descendants, all the prophets was from his, from the 2 branches, Ismail and Isaac. Also, he was given a label, in the Qur'an actually, the Qur'an said, Ulil Azmi min al-Rusul, the greatest among all the prophets are 5. Who are those 5? Is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam number 1 and Ibrahim number 2. Then Moses, then Jesus, and then Noah. The greatest in terms of what? It's a controversial issue. It's like, I would say it's different opinions. It has so many different opinions. Some ulama said that they are greatest in terms of they are the best. Again, the best of what? We don't know. And some others say they are the one who suffer the most, the one who practice sabr the most. But again, I don't go with that because Ayub alayhi salam, he practiced sabr. But anyway, it's the greatest among all the 5. That's what we agree. All the ulama greatest among all the prophets. They are 5. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, number 1, Ibrahim number 2, and Moses, Jesus, and Noah. So he's among the Ulil Azmi min al-Rusul. In the first halaqah, or first episode, we were talking about what he was talking with his dad, telling him why you're doing this and that, and then his dad told him, "Araghib anta an alihati ya Ibrahim? Do you reject my gods, O Abraham? So get away from my face, otherwise I'm going to kill you. I stone you. Get out of here, otherwise I'm going to punish you." Anyway, we talked about that in the first halaqah. The second halaqah is his da'wah with his people, and the different techniques and style and strategies he used with his own people, the people of Babylon, the Chaldeans in Babylon. So what did he do? He came to them and he said, according to the Qur'an, إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ما هذه التماثيل التي أنتم لها عاكفون. When he said to his father and to his people, what are those images that which you are devoted to? What are that images? What are those images, or idols, or stones, or statues that which you are devoted to? Why you are devoted so much to those idols? عاكفين mean just like devoted and praying and this and that. هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعون أو يضرونكم أو ينفعون أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون? This is what the Quran said. Do they hear you when you call upon them? Do they benefit you or harm you? So he's talking to them in a logical way. You are worshipping those images. He called them images. Tamathil. Why you're doing that? You're going to help you? They're going to do any good for you? So they said, listen what they said. بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون. We found our forefather doing that. This is one of the most ridiculous excuse. When you have no answers, oh, I don't know. That's what my father used to do. I don't know. That's what my teacher did. I don't know. That's what the newspaper said. I don't know. That's what the reporter said. That I don't know what. This is kind of, that's not will satisfy the intellect of human being. You have to have a reason. If you don't have a reason, that's ridiculous. And this is exactly what the people of Hud said, and the people of Salih said, and the people of Shu'aib said. كذلك وجدنا آباءنا على أمة وإنا على آثارهم لمقتدون. We found our father following a certain religion, and we are going, indeed, absolutely, follow their own footsteps. So the same thing is happening since the time of Abraham. So, and by the way, it's happening till now. It's kind of, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. Look at any nation on the face of the earth. The most advanced nation, like Japan or the US or England or France. And look at the people of today. Compare them to the people of 200 years ago. They have changed a lot. So Japan or US, they have changed a lot. Look at a Japanese person today and his forefather 200 years ago. Look at an American citizen today and his forefather 200 years ago. We have changed a lot. Experts in science, experts in computer, experts in mechanics, experts in medicine. It's completely, there is a big difference between one of them today and one of them 200 years ago. In everything, they have changed and learned so many things in everything except religion. So this PhD in math who works in the most advanced lab in the whole world, from Monday through Friday, from 8 to 5, dealing with number and logic and equations and everything that makes sense. So in the morning from 8 to 5, he's doing all of that. And in the evening when he goes home, he has no problem. He has no problem making sujood to an idol, prostrating to an idol or worshiping a cow. What is this, brothers and sisters? Like, are you out of your mind? You cannot even say that, are you out of your mind? Because in the morning he was the scientist of the universe, thinking and logic and math and equations from 8 to 5. And after 5, he's worshiping a cow or worshiping. So it's ridiculous how Satan has so much influence on people. When it comes to religion, oh, don't change. Don't change. Your forefather was right. So it's happening since the time of Abraham till now. كذلك وجدنا آباءنا وإنا على آثارهم مقتدون. We're going to follow their footsteps. إنهم ألفوا آباءهم ضالين فهم على آثارهم يهرعون. They found their father misguided, so they are following their tracks. No matter what, they are following their tracks. So that's basically what the people of Abraham is telling him. Oh, I don't know. We just found our father. When he's telling them, do they hear you? When you call upon them, do they benefit you in any way? Do they harm you in any way? So they, oh, I don't know. So they did not disagree. They did not. They approve actually what he said. They say nay. Bel meaning yeah, we understand. You make sense. But we found our forefathers doing that, so we're following our forefathers. So basically, they know that they're wrong, but they want to go with the wrong. That's arrogant, and they don't want to even listen to him. So he said, لقد كنتم أنتم وآباؤكم ضالون. لقد كنتم أنتم وآباؤكم ضالين. That's what the Qur'an said. It's you and your fathers were in a great error. You and your forefather have been in a manifest error. So they said, أجئتنا بالحق أم أنت من اللاعبين. That's what the Qur'an said. أجئتنا بالحق أم أنت من اللاعبين. Are you bringing us a truth, O Ibrahim, or you are one among those who are playing around? So they felt offended when he told them, you and your father are in error. You're wrongdoers. So they felt offended, kind of offended. So he said, are you bringing us the truth, O Ibrahim, or you are one of those who are playing around? So he said, no, I'm not playing around. قال ربكم رب السماوات والأرض الذي فطرهن وأنا على ذلك من الشاهدين. ربكم رب السماوات والأرض الذي فطرهن وأنا على ذلك من الشاهدين. It's your Lord, the Lord of heaven and earth, who created them, and I'm one among the witnesses. And I'm one of the witnesses. This is your Lord, ربكم رب السماوات والأرض, the Lord of heaven and earth, who created them, and I'm one of the witnesses. Then he started to give them the definition. And this is the best ever definition that was given to Qur'an to the Lord, or the God that deserves to be worshipped. The God that deserves to be worshipped. 5 items in the list. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. قال الذي خلقني فهو يهدين. الذي خلقني فهو يهدين. والذي يطعمني ويسقين. وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين. والذي يميتني ثم يحيين. والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين. 5 items in the list of the Lord that should be worshipped. Number 1, الذي خلقني فهو يهدين. The one who created me, so he is the one who guided me. The one who created me, so he is the one who guides me. That's number 1. والذي يطعمني ويسقين, and the one who provide food for me and provide me with drinks. وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين, and when I'm ill, he is the one, it is he who cures me. والذي يميتني ثم يحيين, and he is the one who caused me to die, and he is the one who revived me after death. And number 5, والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين, and he is the one whom I hope that will forgive my sins on the day of judgment. Those 5 items in the list of the Lord that should be worshipped. This is the definition of Allah. This is the definition of God that should be worshipped. The one who created me, so he is the one who guides me. The one who provides me with food and drinks. And when I'm ill, he cures me. And he caused me to die, and he revived me after death. And he is the one whom I hope. He is the one whom I hope that will forgive my sins on the day of judgment. He's telling them, this is the Lord that should be worshipped. Not those idols that doesn't harm or doesn't talk, doesn't speak. What are you doing, guys? So that's basically, he's telling them, he's talking up to this point of time, he's talking to them like man to man, logic, by logic thinking. But those guys doesn't want to take it. They are completely insisting in their arrogance and refusal, and they are following their forefathers. So Abraham switched immediately. It's like the switch, the light switch on and off. Completely the technique or the strategy of da'wah. Immediately. He said those guys doesn't go by intellect and logic. Okay. Let's switch. قال وتالله لأكيدن أصنامكم بعد أن تولوا مدبرين. لأكيدن أصنامكم بعد أن تولوا مدبرين. He said, talking to himself, he said, by Allah, I will destroy your idols. I will destroy your idols after you have gone away and turned your backs. This is what the verse said. By Allah, لأكيدن أصنامكم. I will destroy your idols after you have gone away and turned your backs. بعد أن تولوا مدبرين. Those guys used to have like a day in the whole year. They go and celebrate. And they have to be out of town to do that. And actually, that kept going till even the time of Moses. In the Qur'an, it was mentioned, يوم الزينة. موعدكم يوم الزينة. When Moses was arguing with, debating with Pharaoh, and he said, they did this or that. Okay, let's meet on the day of Zina with all the magicians. The day of the Zina, that's a celebration. That the whole people, all the people, since the time of Abraham, that's a tradition, since the time of Abraham, all the children of Israel and all the people since the time of Abraham, they used to go out of town and celebrate, but they have to be out of town. So the town is like a ghost town. Nobody there. Everybody's out. So Abraham knows that time. He's from the Chaldean, from the people of Babylon, and he knows that every year in such and such day they leave. He said, okay, I'm going to wait till that day. When you guys leave, I have a plot to destroy all your idols. أكيدن أصنامكم بعد أن تولوا مدبرين. I will destroy your idols when you are gone away and turn your backs. That's what his plan. So the day came. They came to Abraham. Oh, let's go. We are leaving now. We are celebrating. Aren't you coming with me? With us? He said, إني سقيم. I'm sick. That's what he said. That's what the Qur'an said. إني سقيم. He's not physically sick, but he's sick of what they are doing. He's sick of what they are doing. That's what he meant. I'm sick. There is a hadith about in the Qur'an, in the hadith in Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari, I'm not sure, that the Prophet ﷺ is saying that Abraham have lied 3 times, 2 among the 3 in the sake of Allah. This hadith is very much confusing people because of the explanation of the hadith, not because of the hadith itself, the explanation of the hadith. It didn't make sense to me, the hadith. He lies, and 2 in the sake of Allah, and 1 lie, there is a lie of the sake. And I kept searching and searching. I found the real explanation of that hadith, but actually it's out of the scope of this halaqah, so I'll talk about it later. But anyway, he said, Inni saqim, I'm not physically sick. That's what they understood, that he's physically sick. But he meant that I'm sick of what you're doing. I'm not going to go out with you. So they left. They left him, saying they know now that he's sick. And they went to celebrate outside the city. So the Qur'an said, فَجَعَلَهُمْ جُذَاذًا إِلَّا كَبِيرًا لَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ يَرْجِعُونَ. So Abraham destroyed them all, except the big one, that they might turn to it. So he destroyed them all except the big one, that they might turn to it. So he left the only one for a reason. He want to make a point. He's driving a point home here. So he has a strategy. He has now, they didn't go by logic. Okay, I'm going to go with a different strategy, different technique. So they came back. And they were shocked. All the idols were destroyed. The gods are destroyed. Except one. So he said, قالوا من فعل هذا بآلهتنا إنه لمن الظالمين. Who did this with our gods? Absolutely, indeed, he's among the wrongdoers. Who did this with our God? Absolutely, indeed, he is one among the wrongdoers. إنه لمن الظالمين. That's what the Qur'an is saying. So some people said, سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. We heard the young guys talking against them, who was called Abraham. Listen to this verse again, brothers and sisters. We heard someone, a young guy, talk about against them, who was called Abraham. 2 things in this verse. Number 1, I want to get your attention to a young one. Fatah, يذكرهم. Fatah, young one, talking against them, who was called Abraham. What does it mean? يقال له إبراهيم. Who was called Abraham? What did that mean? If I and you are roommates, and you are not, you are out, and then somebody called you over the phone, and when you came, I tell you, oh, somebody who was called Abraham called you over the phone. What did that mean? That means I don't know who's Abraham. That's why I say somebody who was called Abraham called you over the phone. Say, he was not even known to his community. يقال له إبراهيم. He was called Abraham. If I know him, I will tell him, Ibrahim called you. But he was not even known. يقال له إبراهيم. He was not even known to the community, who was called Abraham. We heard some guy, young guy, talk against them, who was called Abraham. And young, that's very important. Big circle around young. Because young people are responsible. Right? Young people are responsible for making da'wah. Anyway, so they said, we heard that guy talks against them. So they said, قالوا فأتوا به على أعين الناس لعلهم يشهدون. Then bring him over here in front of everyone that may testify. So they may testify. Bring him over here in front of the eyes of everyone that may, so they may testify. So they can see, they can witness what we're going to do with him. So they brought Ibrahim, and they said, أنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم. Are you the one who did this with our gods, O Abraham? قال بل فعلها كبيرهم هذا فاسألهم إن كانوا ينطقون. Now, it's the big one who did that. And ask them if they can speak. He's trying to drive a point home here. Listen to that. Are you the one who did this with our God, O Abraham? أنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم؟ قال لا. قال بل فعلها كبيرهم هذا فاسألهم إن كانوا ينطقون. Nay, it's the big one who did that, and ask them if they can speak. Subhanallah. He's putting them in the corner. They are in trouble now. Ask them if they can speak. فرجعوا إلى أنفسهم وقالوا إنكم لأنتم الظالمون. Listen to this verse, it's beautiful. فرجعوا إلى أنفسهم وقالوا إنكم لأنتم الظالمون. So they turned to themselves and they said, verily you are the wrongdoers. Verily we are the wrongdoers. So for a moment they start thinking straight and think right. So how we're going to ask them? They cannot even speak. They cannot even defend themselves. How would we know? He's saying that he didn't do it and that guy, the big one, did it. How can we confirm that? They're not going to even tell us that. So for a second, for a moment, they start thinking straight and they are almost there. Because Abraham changed the strategy. So they were almost there until Satan came with his great influence on those people, those arrogant people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an about that, when Satan came, what happened? ثم نكسوا على رؤوسهم وقالوا لقد علمت ما هؤلاء ينطقون. وقالوا لقد علمت ما هؤلاء ينطقون. ثم نكسوا على رؤوسهم. They turned on their head upside down and they said, you know that they cannot speak. Listen to the verse one more time. They turned on their head, nukisu means turned on their head upside down, and they said, you know they cannot speak. So basically they are telling him, what are you talking about? How come we're going to ask them? They cannot speak. Let me tell you something about turning upside down. I did turn it. I'm sorry. I did experiment that. So I'm not telling you something I read. I did myself. Try to do this. You can stop even the tape now and do it, or you can do it later. Turn upside down. Put your leg on your feet on the wall for 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. Then let anyone, you know, somebody from family member, ask, or anyone else, or your roommate, ask you some math questions that you need to use your brain, like 16 times 2, 13 times 3, things like that. You're not going to be able to make it. You are not going to be able to try it. I'm not just like try. Please try it. When you are upside down for 30 seconds, between 30 to 60. The blood goes down and the blood pressure you will lose your brain. You will lose your logic way of thinking. Even 16 times 2, if 16 times 1, 30, 16 times 2 is 32. 13 times 3 is 39. So you know it by heart, but you will lose your mind. You cannot even answer these simple questions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they turned upside down on their heads. This is, I talked about this in my Scientific Miracles of Qur'an, because this is another thing that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is talking about 1400 years ago that people discover right now. But anyway, I don't want to go out of the subject. So the great influence of Satan make them feel like the one who's turning upside down. Cannot even think. They cannot speak. You know that they cannot speak. So that's what Ibrahim want to hear from them. That is, he was waiting for this. He was waiting for, oh, you know that they cannot speak. قال أتعبدون من دون الله ما لا ينفعكم ولا يضركم أف لكم ولما تعبدون أفلا تعقلون. He said, then do you worship beside Allah things that can neither help you or benefit you or harm you? Fie upon you and upon that which you worship. Don't you have any common sense? He was waiting for them to say that, you know that they cannot speak. Okay, you just admitted they cannot speak. They cannot defend themselves. They cannot defend. How are you going to defend you? So he said, do you worship then things that can neither harm you or benefit you? Fie upon you and upon that which you believe, upon which you worship. Don't you have any common sense? So he was waiting for that. Subhanallah. Now, those people lost the battle of debating. So they lost completely in front of everyone. He reached the point that he wanted them to admit that they cannot speak, they cannot do anything. So they did admit. Okay, so absolutely, they are declaring that they lost now. The white flag. They cannot do anything. They are surrendering. But it's not that simple. those guys, even since the time of Muhammad, during the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the disbelievers, when they lose in the battle of logic and conversation, they select another path, the path of violence and force now. They want to apply force. So you cannot talk with you anymore. That guy is he's gonna defeat everybody. He has great influence. He talks in logic. Oh no. We cannot go in this path anymore. Let's change. So they start using force. قالوا حرقوه وانصروا آلهتكم إن كنتم فاعلين. They said, burn him and support and help your gods if you are gonna be doing something. Let's burn him. Let's burn him. And that's what their plan. They dug a big, huge trench, and they started adding logs and wood, and they lit a fire. It was described as very strong fire to the point that if a bird is flying, it will fall down dead. So strong fire. And they want to throw Ibrahim. Every time they drag Ibrahim, they put close to the fire. The heat is so intense, so high, they cannot even come close to the trench. So they had to put him on a manganiq, catapult, and they throw it. Catapult is something like you put it the catapult, you put Ibrahim, and they just pull the string, and then they release the string. So Ibrahim was thrown in the fire in the trench. They lost the battle, and they want to kill Ibrahim that way. What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا نَارْ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. O fire, be cool and gentle and peace of tranquility on Ibrahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created the laws of nature. So is it mandatory on Allah to follow the laws of nature? He's the one who created the law of nature. He's the one who said fire burn, water make you wet. He's the one who did that. So he can change. He created the laws and he can change. He ordered the fire to be cool and gentle and peace of tranquility on Abraham. So Abraham was sitting in the fire, so cool. It was so pleasant to him. He was asked later, one of the best ever time in your life? He said, when I was thrown in the fire. Actually, Jibril came to him. He was on the manganiq, when he was on the catapult, and he told him, hey, Ibrahim, do you want anything from me? Do you want anything from me? He said, he looked at Jibril and he said, from you, no. You are a servant like me. And from Allah, yes. And I know that Allah knows what I've been going through. So I don't even have to ask him. I don't even have to ask him. He made a dua. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. This dua is very well known that Ibrahim is the first one to Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is my protector and He is the best protector of all protectors. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for me and He is the best disposer of all affairs. He is telling Jibril, leave me alone. You are commanded like me. You are a servant like me. You are a slave like me. You're not going to do me anything. But I know that, but from Allah, yes, I need something. And because I know He knows what I'm going through, so there is no need to say anything other than Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is the best disposer of all affairs. Allah is sufficient for me and He's the best disposer of all affairs. Allah is my protector and He is the best protector of all. This dua, according to Ibn Abbas, the Prophet ﷺ said it also. He said Ibrahim said it when he was thrown in fire, and Muhammad ﷺ said it when he was told that the disbelievers gathered a big army for you, so fear them. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. So the believers said, Hasbun Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is our protector and He is the best protector of all. Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of all affairs. This is very well known dua. It was from Abraham and Muhammad ﷺ learned it, so he used it later. That's why all these stories teaching Muhammad ﷺ and the Sahaba and the people and us and the people who come to the Day of Judgment how to use these stories to this dua from Abraham. Everybody else after Abraham used it, prophets and Anbiya. And so this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. فَأَرَادُوا بِهِ كَيْدًا وَأَرَادُوا بِهِ كَيْدًا فَجَعَلْنَاهُمُ الْأَخْسَرِينَ. So they wanted to harm him, we made them the greatest losers. They wanted to harm Ibrahim, we made them the greatest losers. That was the end of the story of his da'wah with his people. Remember, he started with them in a logic way. They did not take it. So he switched his strategy. Another technique is trying to make a point by destroying their idols, and he's trying to make a point. He's not lying when he said "Inni saqim." He was not lying when he said "Bal fa'alaha kabirahum." The big one is the one who did that. He was trying to make a point. He was trying to make a point, and he did the point. He made the point until they admit that they lost in the debate of conversation, in the debate of logic. So he made his point. Inshallah, next halaqah, inshallah, we're going to talk about his da'wah with the leaders, with the king. The king of Babylon, he heard that what happened to that young guy who was thrown in fire, nothing happened to him. He said, bring him to us so we can talk to him. So we'll talk about this issue, inshallah, or this incident and event next time, inshallah. جزاكم الله خير for listening. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
آدم إدريس نوح صالح إبراهيم لوط إسماعيل إسحاق يعقوب يوسف أيوب شعيب موسى هارون ذو الكفل داود سليمان إلياس اليسع يونس زكريا يحيى عيسى والآخر الخاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى.